Hello and welcome to EcoEastEnd.com. I'm Lindsay Brown and I am here with our very first hot ecopreneur of the East End of Long Island, Marc Clejan of Green Logic Energy. He's the founder and CEO, and we're in lovely East Hampton at the Amadon Gay Insurance Agency, and they happen to be your very first client.
They're one of our very first clients, and they're one of the very few commercial clients as well on Long Island that have done solar.
So now you guys are the fastest growing alternative energy company in New York right now, as well as the largest. So how did you guys get going? How did this all evolve?
Well, you know, it started, I was working in a corporate job in New York City, doing healthcare information systems, something that I enjoyed but didn't really move me. And so I decided to look for a transition to something that was a little bit more in my heart. I went back to school at night and got a master's in environmental management. And the idea of the degree was to understand how the environment was being managed and try to figure out what would be the best way to intervene to try to improve our environment. That's really the cause that I related to the most. So after getting the degree, I started looking at different business plans, and it became very clear that the biggest problem that we have, and there's so many ripple effects through society, not just the pollution, but the economic, the security, and everything else, can be resolved by moving to renewable energy. And the technology had just been starting to come up, the incentives were starting to be introduced, so we decided to found Green Logic, and I think we caught the wave. And you know, we tried to execute very professionally, and I think that's what's allowed us to grow quickly.
And so why the East End? How did you guys make your way out here?
Well, we thought long and hard about it, my partner and I. My partner and I lived in the city.
Okay.
And I'd been coming out here since I was a little kid. And we decided that we had to find a market to test our idea. Back then, really there were very few renewable energy projects going on, so there was no way of knowing what the market really was. And we decided this would be the most challenging market to actually bring renewables in. And if we could convince a high-end, very aesthetic, very high-end market to adopt this, we would dispel really the biggest myth about renewable, which is that it's not attractive or that somehow diminishes the property's value. So we said, let's use the East End as our test case. Let's see how we can do there, and if we can do well there, we think we can do well anywhere.
And expand. I was riding the jitney out here on Wednesday, and I saw Green Logic on my way on the LA.
Yes, we have a lot of vehicles going around, and we have an office now in Roslyn, which serves the Nassau, Suffolk County, Western Suffolk, and actually we're going into New York City.
That's exciting.
We're starting to do projects. We have 2 projects now in New York City. We're starting to ramp up there, and we expect to do a lot more there as well. And starting to work on bigger commercial jobs as well.
Do you think most people realize that they can get off their dependency on fossil fuel? Do you think do people get it? I don't think most people do, but
it's really shocking to me how many times we've been involved in an article that's been trying to educate people on what this choice really is, what the economics are, what it can do for you, and still I would say probably 95% of the population has no idea. So this is a constant education, re-education. The deal is so good right now. People have no idea that it's really free. If you are paying for your energy now, which everyone is paying for their energy, you can switch over. You can switch over to renewable energy, and it will cost you less than what you're paying. So it's really free. You save money by doing this. The government has made it so attractive right now, and it's a message that we have to keep getting out there with and keep getting out. And people have to see systems. They have to understand that they can be very attractive, that they can fit into the landscape. They have to talk to friends who've done it, and then the viral process kicks in.
Spread the word.
And so it's really a long transition from sort of pioneers to mainstream.
So you tell us a bit about exactly what products you offer, and maybe, you know, again, I don't think most people know exactly the full
all the choices.
Spectrum.
Well, we offer solar electric, which provides electricity for the home. We offer solar thermal, which provides hot water. So you can not need any more oil or gas to heat your water. We provide pool heating using a combination of a heat pump and solar electric. Geothermal, which provides heating and cooling for the home using the temperature in the ground below us, and windmills, wind turbines. And we have now about 10 wind
I didn't
turbines
realize you guys
that we're putting in.
Oh, okay,
And that's
great.
starting to really take off as well, although it's for a very select client with the right site,
Right.
because you need space, you need to be.
So what are the costs if someone was interested in putting up solar panels on their home? What would that mean?
You can think of it in terms of the upfront cost, but that's really the worst way to think about it. The best way to think about it is, let's say you finance the whole thing, because then you're not worrying about the upfront cost. You're just saying, what's my usage cost? It's like leasing a car. Nowadays, nobody really buys cars. They lease them because they want to pay for what they're using. If you compare the financed cost of any of the systems that I described to what you're currently paying for that same energy, it's about 30% lower. So you can make a transition to renewables without making an investment. You can do it for free and save money day one. And eventually you've paid off the system and you will then have free power for many years thereafter. If you were looking to buy it outright, it is a pretty good sized cash outlay. And we find most customers don't have that, don't want to make that kind of cash outlay. So we're more typically talking about finance solutions. So basically, it's a good deal for most people to do this.